What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. Hope you're all doing well, staying safe. I know they're slowly starting to reopen things here. Hopefully it's not too soon, that type stuff. Kind of whole new situation going on in the world, something I've never really seen before. But all that aside, I've got some awesome death metal to show you guys today. I'm going to try to break this video up into like two parts within this one video. If that makes any sense whatsoever, it may make sense as we go through and keep going on this video. I'm going to list everything that I show in this video in the description in the order that I showed it. That way, if you see something you want to check out, something you want to look a little deeper into, you'll at least have the start of the legwork done for you so you can at least know what to look up and try to find. The first stuff that I'm going to show is kind of what the title of this video kind of alluded to. Called it just a $5 bargain bin pickup. I found a seller in a Facebook group that I'm in. I think he was clearing out the majority of his collection. And I happened to stumble across these. He was selling them for $5 a piece. I saw about 10 of them that I wanted. He had some other stacks going as well for higher prices, but I found several just in this little cheap $5 stack that I wanted. So I'm going to show these first 10, have a little break, and then show some other stuff. I think there's like some brutal deathcore and that type of stuff. Some of the stuff that you may not care about, some of you may not care about. That's why it's kind of split up into two sections on this video. Gonna quit rambling and just get right into it. Like I said, I got all these from the same seller on Facebook. It was in a Metal CD Collector Society, I think is the name of the group or something like that. And the guy was selling these $5 a piece. You can't go wrong for that price. The first two are from the same band. It is a brutal death metal band. The first is actually their debut demo or debut EP. This is Abysmal Torment. I'm going to be fighting this glare. I'm going to have to figure out something to do with this overhead light because it has been killing me lately with the glare. The name of this EP is Incised Wound Suicide. And this was released through Brutal Bands back in 2005. So it's been out about 15 years. Fantastic stuff. Just super murky. I read a review of this one time that said the guitar tone on this sounded like murky diarrhea being poured into your ears, and that's pretty spot on. It's the production value is pretty low, but it is some phenomenal brutal death metal. It has some good riffs, that type of stuff going on. Just to be a little, I think, 5-track EP, this is pretty solid stuff. Also picked up their debut full length. This is Epoch of Methodic Carnage. Glare doesn't seem as bad on this one. That has some pretty gnarly looking artwork. The production value is a little bit better on this full length than it was on that demo, but that demo was just some murky, nasty goodness. This is pretty good. This is the only two albums or only two releases that I own from Abysmal Torment right now. I need to pick up some of their latter stuff. As I said, this was the debut full length. I think the EP came out in 2005, and I think this full length came out in 2006. Some pretty good riffing going on this for some brutal death metal. Has a bit of recycled riffs throughout the album, but they're still very good. It keeps your neck rocking for the entirety of the release. Some pretty solid stuff right there. So definitely stoked to have those two in the collection. I don't know what's going on with my shirts lately. I don't know if I'm just getting lopsided from sitting on my wallet or what, but I don't know. It seems like one sleeve on every shirt I own wants to be longer than the others. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. A little side ramble there. Next up, we have Deeds of Flesh with Crown of Souls. I own the shirt for this, so I figured I might as well have the CD as well. This is 2005 is when this was released on Unique Leader. Kind of a nice little different labels, a nice little mix of different labels within these 10 CDs that I've got. This is pretty strong stuff from Deeds of Flesh. I know a bit more technical than some of the other. This is also probably one of their heavier releases. I know that might not make any sense to you because the majority of their releases are pretty heavy. I just got a heavier sense from this album than I have some of their other material, but pretty solid stuff. When you see Unique Leader on the label on the back of a CD or something, you pretty much know what you're going to be getting. Some pretty technical type stuff, brutal type stuff, just some really solid death metal on that discography from Unique Leader. Sorry, my mouth's getting a little dry. I'm getting a little tongue-tied. We're going to drink some green tea with honey and hope that sorts itself out. The next two, one of these I already owned, but I am collector scum. I didn't have the slipcase, so I felt like the copy that I had wasn't complete, so I went ahead and picked up a new copy. I think I'll end up putting my old copy on a trade group or something later on. First up, we have Aborted with Slaughter and Apparatus, a Methodical Overture. Both of these Aborted releases that I'm going to show were both released through Century Media. A little side note, Century Media has the new Aborted EP on sale for like $8. Has Terror Vision. If you haven't picked up a copy of that yet, it is also on sale. I think it's on sale for $5. I ordered those this morning, so just want to give you guys a little heads up for that. It said both of these Aborteds that I have in this stack both came complete with the slipcase. There's the album cover that most of you are a little bit more accustomed to. Solid stuff. I've been pretty late getting on the Aborted train. I saw them this past year live, and it kind of sparked my love for the band. I started delving a little deeper in their material, and I've enjoyed everything that I've heard. And I think a lot of other people are kind of getting on board that weren't previously on board with Aborted, or because their material's getting a bit expensive. So when I saw these going for $5 a piece, I couldn't pass that up. But definitely stoked to have a copy of that in the collection now. And then this is the one that I've shown in a previous video, but like I said, that my copy did not have the slip cover. This is Aborted with Strychnine 213. And that's some nasty. The slip cover, man, the artwork on that slip cover, mate, is. I know it seems silly to rebuy an album just for that, but it is what it is. There's the Incised. I've already shown this. Like I said, I've talked about it a little bit deeper in previous video. It doesn't even look like this copy had ever even been played, so definitely going to hang on to this one for the collection. I think the one that I showed in a previous, it's been a few videos ago now, that one I'm probably most likely going to be throwing into a trade group on Facebook, maybe Metalhead Box trade group, something like that in the very near future, because I have some other stuff I think I'm wanting to put up for trade as well. So the next two, I think this band is out of the Netherlands, I want to say. First up, this is my favorite release from this band. This is Severe Torture, and the name of this album is Fall of the Despised. This is a phenomenal death metal release. They are able to mix brutality and melody so well on this. Just seamlessly works together on this album. It is so good. If you haven't checked this album out, if you're late getting a copy of this, get it. I mean, it's been out since 2006. If you've never checked this out, do yourself a favor and do so. If you're wanting to get into Severe Torture and you've never checked them out, this is an album that I highly recommend being your introduction to the band. It is, without a doubt, my favorite release from them. And I also think it's just their best release, hands down. Just the production quality on this, the musicianship on this is absolutely flawless. Fantastic release. Definitely check this out if you have not done so. I also picked up the follow-up to that album from Severe Torture. This is Sworn Vengeance. This one's pretty good. I mean, that was this album would be extremely hard to follow up, and they did a decent job on this. As I said, it's just not quite up to par to the previous release. Still pretty good stuff. It is going to get some playtime in rotation, but it's still pretty good. Just more Severe Torture. Funny thing, man, I used to call this band Sever Torture for so long. I don't know if I'm just dumb or what, but that in my head, that's just what I wanted to call this band, was Sever Torture. And then I finally just got to looking at it, and I was like, man, that says Severe. I'm glad I didn't say that in a video and make myself look dumber than I already look half the time. So running right through these, I've got 3 more from this stack, but I was blown away that what this guy was selling for $5 a piece. Next up, we're going from the Netherlands to Sweden. This is another band that was severely lacking in my collection. I only owned one album from them before I made this purchase, and Grand Morbid Funeral, I think, was the name of that album. This is Bloodbath, and first up we have the Nightmares Made Flesh. This is the reissue on Century Media, and that glare is killing me. Seems like some of these that have like these either dark brown or kind of reddish tones on the cover. The glare just kills me with this. I don't know how to combat that. I'm going to have to figure something out because I've got the glare from the window and an overhead light that's just fighting me right now. I don't know why all of a sudden has just become a problem, but we'll get something straightened out soon enough. Fantastic stuff from Bloodbath. Just a super group. I mean, the musicianship on this, is going to be impeccable. Fantastic stuff. Everything this band has ever done has sounded good to me. This might possibly be my favorite release from Bloodbath. It is definitely what was my introduction to the band way back in the day, and just stoked to have a copy of this in the collection now, even if it is the reissue. Has a couple bonus tracks from the Breeding Death demo on this as well, which is just some nasty stuff. So super stoked to have that in the collection. Super stoked to be adding to the Bloodbath portion of my collection. I also picked up the Fathomless Mastery from Bloodbath. This was released on Peaceville, so I guess they had jumped labels at the time. Looks like they put the sticker from the outside plastic wrap on the digipack. I don't understand that whatsoever. Kind of scared to pull that off because I'm afraid it might damage the digi. So I guess I just have a silver sticker on the back of my digibook from here on out. Has a nice little booklet attached inside with lyrics, all that type stuff, a few things about the band, thanks and all that type. There's the CD, and there's the back with silver sticker intact. I do kind of like these. I'm not big on digipacks, but these digibooks I think I like a little bit more than just a standard digipack, so can kind of get on board with that. I know jewel case is probably my favorite format for CDs, but the digibooks, I think if I have to get a digipack, the digibook is probably the way I'd like to go with that. Next up, we have some one-man death metal out of Wisconsin. This is Putrid Pile with Blood Fetish. Fantastic stuff from Putrid Pile. I think Collection of Butchery rivals this one. Those are probably my favorite two releases from Putrid Pile. This was released on Severed Records, and speaking of Severed Records, I have a huge grab bag on the way. 100 CDs. It is the biggest grab bag that I've ever picked up, mystery box that I've ever picked up in my life. I'm super stoked. I got order confirmation the other day, so hopefully it will be shipped out soon, and we could crack that sucker open on this channel together. I think it's going to be wild. 100 CDs of probably jam-packed full of some just nasty, gnarly death metal. I cannot wait. This Blood Fetish, fantastic stuff. Not to discredit Putrid Pile, because this is a fun album. The fact that it's a one-man project and he pulls this off so seamlessly is also a testament to how talented this dude is. Sean did a fantastic job with this release. Putrid Pile, Blood Fetish. So that's the first. I guess I'm going to have like a little intermission here. This is a point of the video where I'm going to kind of surprise some of you. I've gotten the feeling lately from some of my previous giveaways that some people don't even watch the video. They don't care what I have to say. They just see that there's something free. They jump in. They don't follow the directions. They just get in the comments, say, I want in, expect to win, and then get mad when they don't win. It makes no sense to me. It's a bit selfish on their part. At least take the time to watch the video. So this is where I want to give back to you guys that actually take the time to watch my videos. I have two albums from Chicago black and death metal band Forest of Impaled. These are not expensive albums. They are just extras that I have in my collection. I want to rehome them to some of you guys that watch my videos that I think would enjoy this and actually take the time to watch my videos. First up, we have their debut full-length Demonvoid. This is a bit more towards the blackened side of things. At times it just feels like a straight up black metal album. It is a very solid release. You can definitely see just kind of the idea behind where the band was headed just from this debut. Also have their last full length before they split up. This one is entitled Rise and Conquer. This one leans much heavier towards the death metal side of things, and probably my favorite release from Forest of Impaled. This is sealed. This one's never been played. It was just an extra copy I had, and this one is still sealed. If you would like to get in on this giveaway, just go down in the comments. You can type whatever you want in the comments, but before you type your comment, just type Rise and Conquer, and I'll know that you want in on the giveaway, and I'll pick somebody and sometime in the near future and send these your way. I'm keeping that open to everybody worldwide, but I just wanted to say a thank you to you guys that actually watch the videos and don't just skip through to get in on the giveaways. I wanted this to be a little bit of a surprise. So like I said, just type Rise and Conquer in the comments. Don't spoil it. Don't say why you're typing it, because if the people don't watch this part, then they just miss out. It's kind of like a pop-up giveaway. So anyway, now that the intermission is over, we have the second stack of albums. There is some deathcore in this. There's some of you may want to turn the video off now, that type stuff. First up, we have Acrania with the beginning of the end. This is the reissue. This might even be like the third pressing of this. I'm not quite sure. This is I think this is the most recent reissue of this. As I said, Acrania, the beginning of the end, pretty good. I've heard some horrible things about this, but I actually dig this pretty good. As I said, it's just kind of brutal deathcore. Not much going on with the digipack here. I did enjoy their full length Totalitarian Dystopia or something like that was the name of it. Don't have a copy of it, but I would like to have a copy sometime in the future. Picked up this EP. I got it pretty cheap on eBay, so couldn't pass that up. Next up, we have some more. We got a band called See You Next Tuesday. This is kind of grindy sounding deathcore. Fantastic stuff. I actually had a copy of this already. I thought I had sold it. I had taken it off Discogs. I guess that sale had fallen through at some point. Thought I already owned it. Thought I had gotten rid of it, so I bought a second copy. So this is another album that will probably be going up in the trade groups here pretty soon. Pretty good stuff. If you're into deathcore, if you're into the kind of death grind type sound, I think you'll enjoy See You Next Tuesday. If you're watching this video, you probably already heard of them anyway. But like I said, my copy of that was a Parasite. Parasite was the name of that album, by the way. Might not have mentioned that. Didn't talk too much about it because she's sitting there showing something off that in a collection update that is already in my collection. The real reason, too, that I picked that one up because it was in a bundle with their previous EP. And this is See You Next Tuesday with intervals. Haven't gotten around to listening to this yet in its entirety. Sounds a bit more unpolished than Parasite did, but it's still pretty good. This only came with the front insert and the CD, though. So have those in the collection now. And I guess one of them re-added to the collection or double added to the collection. And then the last four that I'm going to show are all from the same band. I picked this up as a lot. I got it for like $8. And it had 4 CDs, and it's a band that I enjoy. This is a Landmine Marathon. They are kind of death metal, at times a bit melodic, but pretty solid stuff from Landmine Marathon. They're not a band that I hear people talk about just too much, and I think they're criminally underrated. First up, we have a split between Landmine Marathon and Scarecrow. Scarecrow's a bit more thrashy sounding. It's funny, the comparison on production value between the split, because the first 3 tracks are Landmine Marathon and they have a much more crisp, clean, polished, professional sounding production, and then Scarecrow, their sound is pretty good, their music is pretty good, but honestly I do enjoy the death metal side of that split a bit more. And I just lost the disc out of it, so then there's the actual disc. Pretty good stuff. Definitely glad to have that in the collection now. So the next up, we have their album entitled Wounded. I have not gotten around to listening to this one yet. I've heard some pretty good stuff about this. Not much going on with that artwork there. Pretty I don't know, maybe if there was a slipcase for this at some point or what, but little bit lacking on the artwork. Next up is probably my favorite release from Landmine Marathon. This is Rusted Eyes Awake. Pretty good stuff there. Again, I think possibly just the artwork that they choose for their albums may be one of the reasons that they get overlooked. This one was released on Prosthetic Records, and don't have much love for Prosthetic just from the way that I hear that they treat their bands. So Then again, I've never personally been in dealings with them, so that's just hearsay. And then I just dropped the last one. And this is actually one that I already owned. It was the only Landmine Marathon album that I owned already. So this copy will also be going up in a trade group here pretty soon. This is a Landmine Marathon with Sovereign Descent. And this one was also released on prosthetic. Just a pretty good little slab of death metal, melodic death metal. You can see the band there on the back. And that disc looks like it might try to fall out as well. So there we have it. Pretty solid stuff. I'm 20 minutes into this. It turned out to be, of course, I showed quite a bit of stuff. Like I said, I'm going to list everything in the description so you can check it out. I have another stack of stuff that I need to show. I just showed a huge stack, and I'm already 21 minutes into this. Don't know when I'm going to get around to making another video. Do have the Severed Records grab bag coming. And don't forget to get in on the giveaway. All you have to do for a chance to win both of these albums from Forest of Impaled, just go down in the comments and type Rise and Conquer. That's all you have to do, and you're entered. Open to anywhere in the world, and I'll get it out to you soon. I have the previous stuff, giveaway winner stuff boxed up. I haven't made it to the post office yet, but it is on the way. So that's all I've got. Stay classy, stay metal. I will see you all very soon. Thank you for everything that you guys do, and just stay safe out there. I'll see you soon. I promise.